Even blaming the banking crisis on crypto, the United States authorities have firmly pointed their guns at crypto. Is it a scapegoat or was it a turning point for crypto? In your mind, or a little bit of both, I don't know. I just think that they were probably the ones that were the most threatening to the establishment, and they were the ones that, in fairness to the regulators, did push the boundaries more than any other sector of the startup economy. And yeah, so now they're paying the price for that. The bill has come due for them, regulatory bodies including a crackdown on the cryptocurrency industry in the US after the FTX collapse in June 2023. However, despite this, neither the SEC nor the CFTC have yet to provide clarity on the regulatory framework for the industry. The lack of clarity is evident in the debates about whether crypto assets such as Ethereum are commodities, securities, or currencies. The confusion has led to calls for suitable regulation to ensure the growth of the cryptocurrency industry in the US. However, policymakers and regulators seem to be pursuing a pointless direction unless crack down on everything related to crypto. The blame for the collapse of Silicon Valley Bank and the banking sector crisis has also been misplaced and shifted onto the crypto industry. Canadian-American venture capitalist Chamath Palihapitiya and entrepreneur/investor David Sachs, in the latest All-In podcast, discussed the state of the cryptocurrency industry and why they believe it is now dead in America. Both Palihapitiya and Sachs believe that the regulatory onslaught by agencies like the SEC has killed the crypto industry in the US. Make sure to stick around to the end of the video where they break down why they see huge US crypto companies such as Coinbase moving to the UK as they pick up the slack and mismanagement by the US. Also, only a small percentage of my viewers are actually subscribed. If you enjoy finance content, consider subscribing or liking the video. It's free and you can always change your mind. I think about it, the more I think it's probably not a coincidence that you're seeing all these concerns about de-dollarization at the same time they're cracking down on crypto. So look, there were a bunch of crypto companies that might have done shady things, but I think we all agree that Coinbase was not one of them. Coinbase was the gold standard in terms of doing everything right, and they've just asked it over and over again for a regulatory framework. They're just like, tell us how to operate and we'll do it. So I think Chamath is right that they're effectively banning crypto in the United States. They're going to drive all these companies overseas, which is terrible for American innovation. I don't know exactly where blockchain and crypto are going to go from here, but I think that we should find that out in America. You know, we don't want that innovation going offshore. You bring up a really good point too. It's just like Coinbase played by the rules, stood in line, tried to do the right things. It seems that every step along the way, right from board composition to executive composition to how they tried to interact with the regulators, yet they were probably the furthest away from getting a license. The one that came the closest was the one that was the most fraudulent, which is FTX. Fascinating, how is that even possible? I mean, because he had skills in gaming the system. Yeah, he's splashy cashy. Well, he ponied up large amounts of money because it wasn't his money, so it was easy for him to make huge donations. But he knew how to play the game. To quote SPF, he said, "This is the dumb game we woke Westerners play. We say the right Chevrolet so everyone likes us. That's the game he was playing, which is my whole concern about if we jump the gun on regulating AI too quickly. It'll turn into another, woke game that everyone's going to play. So here's how the world works. Regulate yourself, behave yourself, act in the interest of consumers, or get regulated or smashed." And I think we've gone over this. We talked about it, in fact, last week. Whether the movie industry, crypto, AI, regulate yourself, behave properly, don't push the boundaries too far. You can bend the rules, but you don't want to break them. I think they regulate yourself that you use the MPAA. I don't think that's the right example. I think if you're going to regulate yourself, look at the tobacco industry. They tried to regulate themselves, but what they did was just lie to maximize profit in an area that was much less benign than movies and content. Maybe you could have some lascivious content in a movie or a video game or an album, but that was a lot less harmful than smoking, which not just impacted the smoker, but it turned out the secondhand smoke as well, or the secondhand smoke. So it touched everybody, right? You could be in a restaurant, not smoke, and yet have years of your life taken. So I think that the self-regulation for areas that impact everybody, independent of whether you participate in the system or not, is where you have to look for good examples, Jason. And I'm not sure there are many good examples of separate allegations, those kinds of systems. I mean, I like your workshopping here. I mean, some restaurants would have a smoking section and a non-smoking section before there was regulation, right? And I think if crypto had been more thoughtful about, hey, which tokens, NFT projects were going to support, which ones were not going to, that maybe they would have avoided a little bit of this. I'm not sure, it's hindsight's 2020 here, but a little more regulation. I don't think those smoking, non-smoking sections worked too well. The smoke went all over the place. Can you remember? You remember coming out of a bar and you woke up the next day? Let me know in the comments. Anyway, guys, hope you all enjoyed today's video and that provided you with some value. I'll see you all in the next video, and as always, all the best.